Picture, if you will, two of the most untamed realms on Earth, each a masterpiece of nature, each a crucible where only the most extraordinary creatures endure. First, immerse yourself in the Amazon jungle, a living labyrinth where every inch bursts with life. Here, the air is thick with the scent of wet earth and blooming orchids, and the ground pulses with the footsteps of unseen animals. Colossal trees, some centuries old, stretch skyward, their crowns interlocking to form a living roof. Sunlight struggles to reach the forest floor, creating a world of perpetual twilight below, where shadows dance and secrets linger. The atmosphere is saturated with moisture, every breath heavy and alive. A symphony of life fills the air. Howler monkeys bellow, macaws screech, and insects hum in a ceaseless chorus, each sound a thread in the jungle's tapestry. Water is the jungle's lifeblood. The mighty Amazon River carves its way through the green expanse, its countless tributaries snaking through the undergrowth, nourishing a world where survival depends on adaptation and cunning. This is a sanctuary of staggering diversity. From the tiniest leafcutter ant to the elusive jaguar, every creature is locked in a delicate balance, each playing a vital role in an ecosystem millions of years in the making. Here, survival is an art, camouflage is a weapon, and patience is a virtue. Predators and prey alike vanish into the foliage, their lives a constant game of stealth and surprise. Now, journey across the vast Atlantic to the African savanna, a world sculpted by sun and wind, where the horizon stretches unbroken and the land breathes beneath an endless sky. Gone is the dense, shadowy forest. Instead, you find yourself surrounded by a sea of grass, open and exposed, where every movement is visible and every sound carries for miles. The sun reigns supreme here, its fierce rays baking the earth and painting the landscape with shimmering mirages. The air vibrates with heat, and survival means enduring extremes. Scattered acacia trees stand as sentinels, their umbrella-shaped canopies offering rare shelter. Beneath their branches, life gathers. Giraffes nibble leaves, antelope rest, and predators wait in ambush. The savanna pulses with movement. Vast herds of wildebeest and zebra sweep across the plains in a timeless migration, their numbers a living tide that shapes the fate of every predator and plant. Life here is ruled by the seasons. Torrential rains transform the land into a lush paradise, while merciless droughts test the endurance of every creature, forging resilience in the face of hardship. The savanna is a grand arena where the drama of predator and prey unfolds in the open. Every chase, every confrontation is a test of speed, strength, and strategy. But what if these two extraordinary worlds could merge? What if the boundaries dissolved, and the champions of each realm found themselves face to face? Imagine the deadliest hunters of the Amazon's tangled shadows meeting the formidable warriors of Africa's sunlit plains. Each brings unique skills, honed by the demands of their homeland. In reality, these worlds are separated by oceans and continents, their inhabitants destined never to meet. But in this imagined arena, distance is no barrier. For the sake of this wild thought experiment, we conjure a place where the impossible becomes real, a battleground where the rules of nature are rewritten. Here, titans will clash. Each animal brings a lifetime of survival strategies, some built on stealth and ambush, others on raw power and endurance. This is the ultimate contest, a test of weapons, wits, and willpower. Only the most adaptable, the most cunning, and the most relentless will triumph. Each contender must master new challenges. Jungle dwellers, once hidden in shadow, now stand exposed beneath the blazing sun. Savanna giants, used to open space, must thread their way through a maze of roots and shadows. The masters of concealment find their tricks laid bare, while the lords of the plains must adapt to a world where every step is a gamble. For the savanna's champions, the jungle is a bewildering labyrinth. Every movement is slowed, every sense tested by the unfamiliar. Who will prevail? The silent assassins of the Amazon, masters of patience and precision, or the relentless warriors of the Savanna, forged by open conflict and endurance, prepare to witness a spectacle like no other. As the boundaries between worlds dissolve, the stage is set for the most extraordinary showdown in the animal kingdom. Deep within the emerald labyrinth of the Amazon, a world teeming with life and danger unfolds. Here, the rulers of the rainforest are not just survivors, they are the architects of an ecosystem shaped by relentless competition and adaptation. Each predator is a marvel of evolution, honed by millions of years to dominate their unique niches in this vast, untamed wilderness. At the heart of the river's shadowy depths glides the giant Anaconda, a living legend and the undisputed sovereign of the Amazon's waterways. This colossal serpent, often exceeding 6 meters in length and weighing over 200 kilograms, is a true heavyweight among snakes, its girth rivaling the trunk of a small tree. With muscles coiled like steel cables, the Anaconda can constrict with enough force to halt the heartbeat of a full-grown capybara or caiman in seconds. Its mottled skin, a tapestry of greens and blacks, renders it nearly invisible among the tangled roots and leaf litter, a masterclass in natural camouflage. With only its nostrils and eyes breaking the surface, the Anaconda waits in absolute stillness, a silent sentinel poised to unleash a lightning-fast ambush on any creature that dares to approach the water's edge. In the dappled shadows of the forest floor, the jaguar reigns as the jungle's most formidable stalker, its every movement a blend of grace and lethal intent. With piercing amber eyes and a jaw built for crushing bone, the jaguar is the apex predator of the Amazon, feared by all who share its domain. Its golden coat, adorned with intricate black rosettes, is not just beautiful, it's a cloak of invisibility, breaking up its outline in the shifting sunlight and dense undergrowth. Unlike its feline cousins, the jaguar is a masterful swimmer, gliding through flooded forests and rivers with ease, hunting prey both on land and beneath the water's surface. Its bite is legendary, pound for pound the most powerful of any big cat, capable of piercing the armored shells of turtles and the skulls of armored reptiles with a single decisive crunch. The jaguar moves like a phantom, solitary and silent, its presence revealed only by the fleeting rustle of leaves or the echo of a distant roar. Beneath the surface, the Amazon's rivers conceal a host of aquatic assassins, each uniquely adapted to the ever-changing currents and shadows. The peacock bass, with its iridescent scales and eye-catching tail spot, is a living jewel. Yet beneath its beauty lies a predator of astonishing ferocity. It launches itself from the depths in explosive bursts, its cavernous mouth engulfing prey in a split second, sending shockwaves through the water. Lurking in the shadows is the giant snakehead, a formidable invader with a reputation for resilience and aggression. This fish is a true survivor, able to gulp air at the surface and even wriggle across muddy banks in search of new territory, defying the boundaries of water and land. Fiercely territorial, the snakehead defends its brood with relentless aggression, transforming into a guardian that will challenge any intruder, no matter the size. On the riverbed, the alligator snapping turtle waits, a living relic, armored in a shell that echoes the age of dinosaurs. Motionless and ancient, it blends seamlessly with the silt and stones, a patient predator sculpted by eons of survival. Its shell, cloaked in algae and moss, transforms it into a living stone, deceiving even the most cautious fish. 3 jagged ridges run the length of its carapace, a testament to its prehistoric lineage and a fortress against would-be attackers. Concealed within its powerful jaws is a pink, worm-like appendage, a masterful lure that mimics the wriggling of prey, drawing the curious ever closer. In a flash, the jaws snap shut with bone-crushing force, a trap perfected over millennia, swift, silent, and inescapable. These are the true champions of the Amazon, creatures of myth and muscle, each a vital thread in the intricate tapestry of the rainforest, shaping the destiny of this wild, primeval world. The African savanna stretches endlessly beneath a golden sky, its vastness broken only by the silhouettes of acacia trees and the movement of life across the plains. Here, survival is a relentless contest, and only the most formidable creatures rise to the top. In this land of extremes, every animal is shaped by the unforgiving sun and the scarcity of water. The grasslands pulse with tension as predators and prey alike are sculpted by drought, heat, and the ever-present threat of danger. Among these survivors, the black cobra glides silently through the brittle grass, a shadow with a singular purpose. Its presence is rarely noticed until it is too late. With a body built for speed and precision, the black cobra moves like liquid obsidian, its every motion calculated and efficient. It is a master of stealth, blending seamlessly with the earth and shadows. Sunlight dances across its scales, revealing a sheen that hints at both beauty and danger. Each scale is a shield, each muscle a coiled spring, ready to unleash explosive energy. When threatened, the cobra transforms. Its hood flares wide, a living warning sign, and a chilling hiss vibrates through the air, a sound that freezes even the boldest adversaries. The strike is a blur, fangs flashing, venom delivered with surgical precision. This neurotoxin is a silent assassin, shutting down nerves and muscles with ruthless efficiency, capable of felling creatures far larger than itself. But the savanna is also home to giants. The Cape buffalo, a living fortress, stands as a testament to raw, unyielding power. Its presence alone commands respect across the plains. With eyes that burn with intelligence and suspicion, the Cape buffalo is always alert, always ready to defend itself and its herd from any threat, no matter how fearsome. Its horns are not just weapons, they are armor, curving into a solid boss that shields its skull. Beneath its hide, layers of muscle ripple with every movement, a testament to years of survival in a world where only the strongest endure. When the buffalo lowers its head, it becomes a living battering ram, capable of shattering bone and tossing predators aside with terrifying force. The herd is its shield and its strength. When danger looms, buffaloes form an impenetrable wall, calves tucked safely behind, adults ready to charge as one. Even the king of the savanna, the lion, thinks twice before facing a buffalo. With a sudden, thunderous charge, the buffalo can turn the tables, sending predators fleeing for their lives. The black cobra, meanwhile, is the embodiment of lethal precision. It waits for the perfect moment, then strikes with a speed that defies the eye. It wastes no energy on drawn-out battles. One bite and it slips away, vanishing into the grass, leaving only silence and the slow, inevitable work of its venom. From a safe distance, the cobra observes, its tongue flickering as the effects of its attack unfold. Patience is its ally, time its accomplice. Unlike the crushing embrace of a jungle constrictor, the cobra's method is swift and silent, a single touch, a fatal promise. It is a phantom striking from nowhere, then melting back into the landscape, its presence marked only by the aftermath. No matter the size of its adversary, the cobra's agility and venom make it a threat that cannot be ignored, a true equalizer in the wild. The Cape buffalo, in contrast, is the embodiment of endurance and brute strength. Its very presence is a challenge to all who cross its path. Predators hesitate, calculating the risk, for a single misstep can mean disaster when facing a buffalo herd. When provoked, the buffalo becomes a force of nature, unstoppable, unyielding, trampling everything in its path with a fury born of survival. Scarred by battles and weathered by storms, the buffalo's resilience is legendary. Each scar tells a story of survival against the odds. Through endless droughts and fierce confrontations, the buffalo endures, its stamina unmatched, its will unbroken. It is built for the long struggle, thriving where others falter. In the heart of the savanna, The black cobra and the Cape buffalo stand as living legends. One, a master of silent surgical strikes. The other, a juggernaut of muscle and willpower. As the sun blazes overhead and the grass whispers in the wind, these two icons prepare for a confrontation that will echo across the wild, a true testament to the untamed spirit of the grasslands. Beneath a heavy canopy of tangled vines and towering trees, a sluggish river carves its way through the borderlands where jungle meets savanna. The water is thick with silt, its surface broken only by the occasional ripple of a drifting leaf or the silent passage of a fish below. Sunlight filters through the dense foliage, painting shifting patterns on the muddy banks and casting long, wavering shadows across the water. In this secluded stretch, the alligator snapping turtle has claimed its territory. It lies motionless, a relic of ancient times, perfectly adapted to the slow, secretive world beneath the surface. Half buried in the silty riverbed, its rugged shell is nearly indistinguishable from the stones and debris scattered along the bottom. Only the faintest outline betrays its presence, a living shadow, patient and unseen. The turtle's stillness is absolute. It is a master of waiting, its heartbeat slow, its senses tuned to the faintest vibration in the water. Hours pass, the world above shifting from golden morning to the muted green of midday. But the turtle remains unmoved, a silent sentinel in the gloom, its jaws edged like ancient stone, part just enough to reveal a secret weapon. A tiny, worm-like appendage, pink and glistening, begins to writhe and twist. The lure dances with uncanny realism, a beacon for the unwary. In the dim light, the lure's movement is hypnotic, a silent promise of easy prey. The turtle's eyes remain fixed, unblinking, as it waits for the river to deliver its next meal. Then a new shadow glides into view, larger and more ponderous than any fish. The water stirs, and the silt swirls as something immense enters the turtle's domain. It is a leatherback turtle, a creature forged by the open ocean, now adrift in this alien world of tangled roots and shifting mud. Its massive form moves with a gentle, uncertain grace, each paddle of its flippers sending eddies spiraling through the murk. The leatherback's movements are hesitant, its senses overwhelmed by the unfamiliar scents and textures of fresh water. It pauses, lifting its head to taste the current, searching for something familiar in this strange new realm. Towering over the river's usual inhabitants, the leatherback is a gentle titan, its shell a patchwork of scars and ridges shaped by a lifetime at sea. Here its size is both a shield and a burden, making every movement deliberate and cautious. Its shell, dark and leathery, is built for slicing through ocean currents, not for the tight, twisting confines of a river. Each stroke of its flippers stirs up clouds of silt, leaving a trail of turbulence in its wake. Drawn by the subtle motion in the gloom, the leatherback's keen eyes lock onto the dancing lure. Hunger and curiosity mingle as it drifts closer, its massive head tilting to inspect the strange wriggling shape. It advances with slow, measured strokes, each movement sending ripples across the riverbed. The lure's dance grows more frantic, a final temptation. Hidden beneath a veil of mud, the alligator, snapping turtle's ancient eyes narrow, tracking every inch of the approaching giant. Its body remains stone still, but inside, tension coils like a spring. The water trembles as the leatherback draws near, the vibrations echoing through the turtle's shell. Instinct and experience tell it that the moment is close. The leatherback, accustomed to the drifting forms of jellyfish and the gentle sway of seaweed, has no sense of the peril that lurks beneath. Its world has never known such a predator. It stretches its long neck, beak poised to snap up the enticing morsel, unaware that it hovers on the edge of disaster. Beneath the mud, the snapping turtle's muscles bunch, every fiber primed for a single explosive movement. Its focus is absolute, the world narrowing to the space between its jaws and the unsuspecting visitor. The trap is set, the bait irresistible, the moment electric with anticipation. For a heartbeat, time seems to freeze. The river holds its breath, the only sound the faint pulse of water against shell. Then, with a burst of raw power, the alligator-snapping turtle erupts from its hiding place, jaws gaping wide, surging toward its target with astonishing speed. Its jaws snap shut with a thunderous crack, the sound reverberating through the water like a warning bell, but the leatherback's instincts flare to life. In a split second, it recoils, pulling its head back just as the jaws close on empty water. The snapping turtle's strike misses by the slimmest margin, the water erupting in a cloud of silt and bubbles. Panic surges through the leatherback, its powerful flippers churning the river into a maelstrom as it flees the ambush. In a flurry of motion, the giant vanishes into the murk, leaving only a swirling cloud of mud and the silent, watchful shadow of the snapping turtle, ever patient, ever hungry, waiting for the river to bring its next unwary visitor. In a shallow, sun-dappled tributary of the river, a drama of survival and instinct is quietly unfolding beneath the surface. Here, a mother giant snakehead stands sentinel over her precious brood, her body a living barrier between her offspring and the dangers that lurk in every current. Hundreds of tiny, bright orange fry, her young, form a living, swirling shield around her, their scales catching the fractured sunlight in a mesmerizing, ever-shifting mosaic. The mother's presence is constant and unwavering. She glides in slow, deliberate circles, her senses tuned to the faintest vibration, the subtlest shift in the water's chemistry. Her fins undulate with precision, keeping her perfectly poised. Her eyes, adapted for the dim, shifting light, scan the murky depths for any sign of movement, each flicker a potential threat. In the world of freshwater predators, her parental instincts are legendary. She is both guardian and enforcer, her every muscle primed to react with explosive force. Her jaws, lined with razor-sharp teeth, are not just for hunting. They are weapons of defense, capable of inflicting serious injury on would-be intruders. Suddenly, a streak of iridescent color slices through the water, disrupting the tranquil ballet of the fry. A formidable peacock bass, its body rippling with muscle and intent, has detected the vulnerable cluster of young snakeheads, a feast in waiting. For the base, the dense ball of fry is a beacon, an irresistible concentration of easy prey, their collective movement betraying their presence. The predator's body coils with anticipation, every muscle fiber taut, its gills flaring as it calculates the perfect angle of attack. The base locks eyes with the mother snakehead, but its hunger is a force that overrides caution, driving it closer to the vulnerable mass of fry. In these waters, the peacock bass is a tyrant, accustomed to scattering smaller fish with a mere flick of its tail, its dominance rarely challenged. It readies itself for a predatory blitz, aiming to surge through the fry, jaws agape and snatch a mouthful before the mother can intervene. With a sudden burst of speed, the peacock bass lunges, its streamlined body slicing through the water with lethal intent. Its cavernous mouth opens wide, creating a powerful suction that threatens to engulf dozens of the defenseless fry in a single devastating gulp. But the mother snakehead is no passive guardian. She has anticipated the attack, her body tensed and ready to unleash her own brand of violence. Her muscles coil like springs, her posture shifting from watchful to aggressive in a heartbeat, every instinct screaming to protect her young. In a flash, she erupts from her position, a living missile of muscle and fury, intercepting the base with a ferocity that belies her size. She doesn't hesitate or retreat. Instead, she launches a counterattack, transforming from guardian to aggressor in an instant. Her jaws snap with audible force, targeting the base's vulnerable flanks, her teeth a warning and a weapon. She rams the intruder with the full force of her body, sending shockwaves through the water, a clear, violent message that this territory is fiercely defended. The peacock bass recoils, momentarily stunned by the mother's unexpected aggression and the pain of her attack. What was meant to be an effortless ambush has become a desperate retreat, the base's confidence shattered by the mother's relentless defense. The mother snakehead gives no quarter. She chases the predator with snapping jaws and swift, punishing strikes, her determination unwavering as she drives it from her territory. Realizing the cost of this meal is far too high, the peacock base flees, vanishing into the deeper, shadowed reaches of the river, its pride wounded. The mother snakehead returns to her fry, her body weaving a protective barrier as she resumes her vigilant patrol, her victory silent but absolute. In the wild, where every day is a battle for survival, it is the unwavering, instinctive courage of a mother that can tip the balance. Her fierce defense a testament to the power of nature's most primal bond. The stage is set in the heart of the Amazon, where the river breathes mist into the dawn air and the jungle pulses with anticipation. The main event is about to begin. Beneath the glassy surface, the giant Anaconda reigns supreme. She glides with a silent, predatory grace, her immense form undulating through the water like a living current. Every movement is calculated, every muscle fiber tuned for the hunt. Her body, a living cable of muscle and ancient power, is sheathed in olive-green scales, patterned with black ovals. Perfect camouflage in the dappled light of the river. She moves with such subtlety that the water barely stirs, betraying nothing of her presence to the world above. Her tongue flickers, sampling the air and water for the faintest trace of prey. Each flick is a chemical analysis, a silent conversation with the environment, revealing the invisible trails left by creatures that have passed this way. In these waters she is an undisputed monarch. Her confidence is not arrogance, but the certainty of a predator that has never known defeat. The river bends to her will, and the creatures within it yield to her dominance. Even the caimans and capybaras, formidable in their own right, keep a respectful distance. The mere suggestion of her presence sends ripples of fear through the ecosystem. She is the embodiment of raw, unyielding force. Her coils, thick as a man's thigh, are engines of suffocation, slow, relentless, and inescapable. When she strikes, the jungle itself seems to hold its breath, but on the muddy riverbank, a shadow moves with equal purpose. The black cobra, a stranger in this lush world, glides over the tangled roots and sodden leaves, her scales gleaming like polished obsidian. She is a champion of the African savanna, her body built for speed and precision. Here, in the dense, humid jungle, every step is a test of adaptability. Yet she moves with a dancer's poise, her senses sharpened by the unfamiliar terrain. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of moss and decay, but the cobra's tongue flicks rapidly, decoding the world in invisible waves. Her eyes, unblinking and cold, scan for threats and opportunities alike. She is not here to challenge giants, but to explore, to test the boundaries of her domain. Every movement is measured, every pause a calculation. She is a master of caution, her body coiled with latent energy. Against the riotous greens of the jungle, her sleek black form is a living shadow, an anomaly, a warning, a promise of danger. She lifts her head, tongue flicking, reading the world in a language of scent and vibration. Her senses are tuned to a different frequency than the anaconda's, but no less acute. Her movements are swift, each muscle firing in perfect sequence. There is a nervous energy in her, a readiness to strike or flee at a moment's notice. The riverbank becomes a stage for destiny. The anaconda's approach is silent, but inevitable. The cobra, alert and poised, senses the shift in the air. The anaconda, detecting the subtle warmth of a living body, alters her course. Her massive form glides closer to the muddy edge, every sense focused on the promise of a meal. Her strategy is ancient and flawless. Approach unseen, strike with explosive force, and let her coils do the rest. She is a living relic of predation, perfected by time. From beneath the water, her eyes lock onto the black silhouette on the bank. To her, it is simply prey, unaware, vulnerable, and within reach. She sinks lower, nostrils and eyes barely breaking the surface, her body a shadow beneath the current. In this moment, she is invisible, an ambush waiting to happen. Like a living submarine, she glides forward, her coils primed for the kill. Patience is her greatest weapon. She can wait for hours, closing the distance inch by inch. But the black cobra is no ordinary prey. She is a creature of venom and defiance, her spirit unbroken even in the face of overwhelming force. Her tongue flicks again, and this time she tastes something new, a disturbance, a predator's approach. Instantly her body tenses, every muscle ready to respond. She freezes, her body a taut line of potential energy. The jungle falls silent, as if holding its breath for what comes next. Her eyes narrow, focusing on the unseen threat. She does not flee, but prepares to meet danger head-on. In a sudden eruption of water and muscle, the anaconda lunges, her massive jaws gaping, intent on seizing the cobra in a single, devastating strike. The cobra stands her ground, refusing to yield. She is a master of defense, her resolve as sharp as her fangs. With a fluid motion she rears up, her hood flaring wide, a living shield, a warning to all who would threaten her. Her mouth opens, revealing fangs glistening with venom. In this moment, she is both beauty and death incarnate. At the river's edge, two titans face off, one a living engine of constriction, the other a master of lethal precision. The jungle watches, silent and breathless, as the ultimate showdown between Serpent and Constrictor begins. In the dense, humid heart of the jungle, the anaconda explodes from the undergrowth, its immense body rippling with raw muscle. Its jaws open wide, targeting the smaller serpent with a precision honed by countless hunts. The air is thick with tension as the two apex predators meet in a silent, deadly ballet. But the black cobra is a master of speed and agility, its obsidian scales glinting as it darts with impossible quickness across the leaf-littered floor. With a fluid, hypnotic motion, the cobra sways back, narrowly evading the anaconda's crushing jaws. Its movements are a study in controlled energy, every muscle coiled and ready. Before the anaconda can recover, the cobra launches a counterattack, its body a blur of motion as it strikes with surgical precision. The cobra's fangs pierce the anaconda's thick, armored neck, just behind the massive head, delivering a payload of venom with chilling efficiency. The bite is a masterstroke, swift, deep, and perfectly placed to maximize the venom's effect. Venom floods into the anaconda's bloodstream, a potent blend of neurotoxins engineered by evolution to paralyze and subdue even the most formidable adversaries. The anaconda recoils, its massive coils undulating in surprise. It is not pain that registers, but the shock of resistance from what it expected to be easy prey. In the anaconda's world, few creatures dare to fight back. This moment of hesitation is rare, a predator forced to reassess its place in the food chain. At first, the wound appears trivial, a mere blemish on the anaconda's thick hide, barely enough to draw its attention. The giant snake surges forward, its immense strength undiminished, the bite seemingly inconsequential against its colossal form. With a violent shake, the anaconda dislodges the cobra, its predatory instincts undeterred. It coils, preparing to unleash its legendary constriction. The urge to constrict is overwhelming, a primal force that has ended countless lives. Yet beneath the surface, a silent battle has begun. The anaconda's vast body, once its greatest asset, now becomes a liability. The venom, slow but relentless, begins its journey through the labyrinth of muscle and sinew. Microscopic rivers of toxin seep into the bloodstream, each droplet a harbinger of doom, spreading inexorably through the giant system. The neurotoxins, invisible to the eye, begin to sabotage the anaconda's nervous system, severing the vital connections between brain and muscle. Like silent assassins, the toxins travel through the anaconda's veins, targeting nerve endings, blocking the electrical impulses that command movement and strength. Subtle tremors ripple through the anaconda's coils. Its movements, once fluid and powerful, now falter, slowed by an invisible hand. The venom acts like a dimmer switch, gradually sapping the giant's strength, its legendary power fading with each passing moment. The cobra, mission complete, glides away with calculated caution, its senses alert for any sign of renewed danger. From a safe vantage, the cobra watches, knowing that patience is its greatest ally now. The anaconda, though slowed, is not yet defeated. Its massive body still commands respect, every movement a testament to its enduring will. But fatigue creeps in, a foreign sensation for the jungle titan. Muscles that once obeyed now falter, and a strange heaviness settles over its form. Instinct screams for action. The anaconda locks its gaze on the cobra, summoning every ounce of remaining strength for a final, desperate assault. The clearing becomes a stage for a primal showdown, the air thick with anticipation as predator and rival face off in the fading light. Time itself seems to slow, each heartbeat echoing the relentless march of venom through the anaconda's veins, a countdown to oblivion. Even as its body betrays it, the anaconda's instinct to constrict remains undiminished. Its coils tighten, a final act of defiance against the inevitable. The dying giant gathers its fading power, launching one last thunderous attack, a tragic crescendo in the jungle's eternal struggle. The venom's silent work is nearly done. As the anaconda's strength ebbs away, the jungle bears witness to a slow, certain fate, one predator's reign ending, another's victory sealed in the shadows. The neurotoxin, a silent invader, continues its inexorable journey through the anaconda's vast circulatory system. Each heartbeat pumps the venom deeper, disrupting the delicate balance of nerves and muscles that once made this serpent a master of its domain. The giant snake's legendary strength ebbs away, its muscles betraying it with every sluggish contraction. The water, once a realm of effortless movement, now feels thick and unyielding, as if the river itself conspires against the fading titan. Each attempt to slither is met with resistance from its own failing body. The anaconda's movements, once fluid and precise, devolve into awkward, jerking motions, its massive form dragging through the mud, leaving erratic trails along the riverbank. Paralysis creeps in, a chilling sensation for a creature whose very existence is defined by the power of motion. The world narrows to a haze of pain and confusion, instinct screaming as the body refuses to obey. In the glassy reflection of its eye, resignation flickers. The anaconda, driven by primal awareness, senses the shadow of death drawing near. Yet deep within, a spark of defiance remains. The spirit of a predator, forged by countless battles and narrow escapes, refuses to yield quietly to the venom's advance. The black cobra, sensing the anaconda's weakness, attempts to slip away, but with a final, desperate surge, the anaconda channels the last reserves of its fading strength, launching itself in a final, fateful lunge. This time, instinct and desperation align. The strike lands true. The anaconda's jaws snap shut around the cobra's midsection, teeth sinking into the scaled armor. The bite is not meant to kill, but to hold. The bite is an anchor, a desperate grip to prevent escape, to set the stage for the anaconda's true weapon. Instinct takes over. The anaconda's body, even weakened, remembers the ancient rhythm of the hunt. It begins to coil, each loop a testament to the power that once ruled these waters. Massive coils encircle the cobra, one after another, each loop a tightening noose. The riverbank becomes a stage for this final act of predation. The anaconda's muscles, though weakened, contract with grim determination. The pressure mounts, each breath a struggle for both predator and prey. The black cobra, caught in the living vice, thrashes with desperate energy. Its sleek body twists and writhes, but the anaconda's bulk absorbs every frantic movement, the coils tightening inexorably. The constriction is relentless. The cobra's ribs creak under the pressure, its body compressed by the immense force of the anaconda's embrace. The air is forced from its lungs, each gasp more shallow than the last. With every ounce of remaining strength, the anaconda tightens its grip, muscles trembling with exhaustion. The venom inside it wages war, but instinct refuses to surrender. The cobra's body begins to yield. Ribs crack, the struggle weakens, and the once lethal serpent finds itself powerless in the face of overwhelming force. Its chest, compressed by the anaconda's coils, can no longer expand. Oxygen slips away, and the world narrows to a tunnel of pain and darkness. The constrictor's embrace is absolute, a suffocating prison from which there is no escape. The cobra's movements slow, then falter. Yet, even as the anaconda crushes its foe, the venom continues its silent work. The great snake's own body is shutting down, nerves failing, muscles slackening. The two serpents, once rivals, are now bound together in a fatal embrace. Their bodies, entwined in a tableau of struggle and surrender, become a single monument to the unforgiving laws of nature. The black cobra's resistance fades. Muscles go limp, the last flicker of life extinguished by the relentless pressure. Its body, once a vessel of lethal precision, now lies broken and still within the anaconda's grasp. The anaconda, victorious in the physical contest, remains coiled around its vanquished enemy, but the triumph is fleeting, the cost irreversible. The riverbank is silent, save for the gentle lapping of water. The anaconda's body, once a symbol of dominance, now lies motionless, the weight of victory hollow in the face of impending death. The neurotoxin, having completed its merciless task, severs the final connections between mind and muscle. The anaconda's eyes glaze over, its awareness fading into oblivion. Muscles slacken, the once mighty coils unraveling as the last vestiges of life slip away. The anaconda's massive body uncoils, releasing the lifeless cobra. Both predators, now still, are revealed in the cold light of dawn. The riverbank, once a battleground, becomes a silent witness to the end of two legends. The anaconda, ruler of these waters, lies defeated by a foe far smaller, yet equally formidable. In the pale morning light, the bodies of both serpents rest side by side. There is no victor, only the echo of a struggle that ended in mutual destruction, a tragic stalemate written in the mud and silence of the wild. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in molten gold and deep indigo, our journey through the tangled depths of the Amazon and the sweeping savannas draws to a close. But in truth, the wild never truly ends. Its story is written anew with every heartbeat, every rustle in the undergrowth, every distant roar. We have witnessed the silent ballet of survival, a leatherback turtle gliding through murky waters, narrowly evading the jaws of a lurking predator, a mother giant snakehead, her body coiled in fierce protection, fending off intruders with unwavering resolve. In the shadowy tangle of roots and vines, titans clashed, giant anaconda and black cobra, their bodies entwined in a desperate struggle. The air thick with tension, the outcome uncertain, both creatures left battered, a testament to the cost of survival in a world where victory is never guaranteed. Each encounter in this imagined contest has revealed the wild's greatest secret, its unpredictability. Here, the rules are written in instinct and chance, and the outcome is shaped by the smallest of moments. The Amazon and the Savanna, two worlds, each a crucible of life, forge survivors in their own image. There is no single champion, no ultimate victor, only those who adapt, endure, and evolve. In the dense, humid jungle, survival is a game of shadows and silence. Camouflage is king, patience a virtue. In the open savanna, speed and strength rule, and the ability to read the wind or sense the tremor of hooves can mean the difference between life and death. The Amazon's champions, anacondas coiled beneath the surface, snapping turtles lurking in the gloom, are sculpted by a world of perpetual twilight, where the line between hunter and hunted blurs with every ripple. Here, creatures move like shadows, their senses attuned to the faintest vibration, the subtlest change in current. The jungle's watery labyrinth is a realm of ambush, where patience and stealth are the greatest weapons. On the savanna, the story's written in dust and sunlight. The cobra, poised and unblinking, faces down giants. The Cape buffalo, muscles rippling beneath its hide, charges with the force of a living storm. Here, survival is a contest of endurance and raw power. Predators and prey are locked in a relentless chase, each moment a test of speed, stamina, and split-second decisions. When these worlds collide, their strategies are laid bare. Ambush against pursuit, venom against muscle, silence against thunder. Each reveals its strengths and its vulnerabilities in the crucible of conflict. Yet the wild's greatest lesson is humility. No matter how fierce or cunning, every creature is subject to the whims of chance, a sudden downpour, a shift in the wind, the unexpected arrival of a rival. Time and again, the smallest and seemingly weakest can outwit the mighty. A nimble rodent slips from the talons of an eagle. A clever bird outsmarts a stalking cat. A single drop of venom, delivered with precision, can topple a giant. The balance of power is ever shifting, never absolute. The wild is also a place of fierce devotion. A mother's courage, ignited by the threat to her young, can turn the tide against even the most formidable foe. Every inhabitant, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, is armed with a unique arsenal. Camouflage, armor, speed, cunning, each adaptation a masterpiece shaped by countless generations. In the wild, every decision is a gamble. A single misstep can mean the difference between feast and famine, life and death. The outcome is determined by 1,000 invisible threads, timing, instinct, the unpredictable hand of fate. It is a ceaseless dance, a symphony of movement and intent, where predator and prey are bound together in a cycle as old as time. Ultimately, the wild itself is the true victor, a living tapestry woven from countless lives, each thread vital, each moment irreplaceable. The astonishing diversity we see today is the result of eons of adaptation and change. Evolution's patient hand has sculpted every claw, every tooth, every instinct, ensuring that life not only survives, but thrives in the most unexpected ways. The true marvel is not in imagined battles, but in the quiet moments, an otter gliding through reeds, a pride of lions resting in the shade, a jaguar's silent prowl beneath the canopy. These are the stories that define the wild. The wild is not a battleground, but a vast, intricate web. Every creature, every plant, every fleeting moment is connected, each playing a role in the grand design of life. And that in the end is the true wonder of the wild, a world of endless possibility, where the only certainty is surprise, and every dawn brings a new story waiting to unfold. Beneath the emerald canopy of the Amazon and across the golden vastness of the savanna, a different kind of predator reigns, one whose presence is rarely seen, but whose influence is felt in every corner of the wild. These are the phantom hunters, masters of stealth, patience, and deception, who shape the fate of their worlds from the shadows. In the Amazon, the jaguar glides silently through dappled light, its rosetted coat dissolving into the shifting patterns of leaf and shadow. Every step is measured, every breath controlled. With unmatched vision and powerful jaws, it stalks the riverbanks, waiting for the faintest ripple of a caiman or the subtle twitch of a capybara's ear. When the moment comes, it strikes with breathtaking precision, a single silent leap, a bite that pierces through armor and bone. The jungle falls quiet again as if nothing has stirred. But not all hunters wear the mantle of brute strength. In the murky water, the electric eel lurks in stillness, its slender body winding through submerged roots. It senses the electrical signals of unsuspecting prey, a darting fish, a curious amphibian. In a flash, it unleashes a surge of voltage, stunning its victim into submission. In the silence that follows, the eel slips away, leaving behind only a faint ripple on the surface. High above, the harpy eagle waits, nearly invisible among the branches. Its talons, curved and deadly, are strong enough to snatch a sloth from its perch. With a sudden rush of wind, it drops from its vantage, a ghostly shape gliding through shafts of sunlight. Below, the forest holds its breath as a life is claimed in a heartbeat, and the eagle vanishes as swiftly as it appeared. On the savannah, the art of ambush takes a different form. The African wild dog, painted in splashes of ochre and black, moves like a shadow across the grass. It is not alone. Its strength lies in the pack, in the silent communication of glances and gestures. With uncanny coordination, the dogs encircle their quarry, driving it toward a hidden trap. The hunt is a dance of strategy and trust, each member playing a vital part, each movement honed by countless generations. In the tall grass, the serval crouches low, its oversized ears swiveling to catch the faintest rustle. With a sudden, gravity-defying leap, it springs high above the stalks, pinning a fleeing rodent with pinpoint accuracy. The kill is swift, the serval's golden eyes unblinking in the fading light. As dusk settles, the world of the phantom hunters comes alive. Every shadow conceals a story, every silence hides a struggle. In these hidden corners, the balance of life and death is maintained not by the loudest or the strongest, but by those who master the art of invisibility. Their victories are rarely witnessed, their presence marked only by the subtle shift of leaves, a lost feather, the faintest imprint in the mud. In the end, it is these unseen predators who remind us that the wild's greatest mysteries are often hidden in plain sight. Their legacy is written not in spectacle, but in the quiet precision of a successful hunt, in the resilience of prey that learns to outwit its pursuers, and in the ever-shifting balance that keeps the wilderness alive. In the relentless theatre of the wild, survival is not reserved for the hunters alone. For every phantom predator that stalks the shadows, there is a prey animal perfecting the delicate art of evasion, an endless contest of adaptation, wit, and instinct. Deep within the Amazon's tangled undergrowth, the agouti, a small, unassuming rodent, moves with a dancer's grace. Its ears swivel independently, catching whispers of movement above and below. Sensing the silent approach of a jaguar, the agouti freezes, relying on stillness to become invisible among the dappled leaves. When danger draws near, a lightning-fast dash sends it zigzagging through roots and fallen branches, its memory of hidden escape routes guiding each turn. The agouti's survival is a testament to anticipation, every heartbeat attuned to the rhythm of the forest. Above, troops of howler monkeys deploy a different strategy. Their chorus of guttural bellows echoes across the canopy at dawn, a declaration of territory that warns rival troops and signals vigilance to lurking eagles. When a shadow passes overhead, the troop scatters across the highest branches, mothers clutching infants, tails intertwining for balance. Their world is one of constant surveillance, where the line between safety and peril is as thin as a trembling leaf. In the rivers, the armored giant, known as the arapaima, glides beneath the surface. Its scales, thick as ancient shields, deflect the teeth of piranhas and the jaws of caiman. The arapaima surfaces with a gentle sigh, breathing air before slipping below, where it blends with the murky water. Its camouflage is its armor, its patience, its greatest weapon. Across the savannah, the impala's life is a masterclass in agility. With every muscle coiled, it senses the faintest tremor in the grass, a wild dog's approach, a lion's silent crawl. At the first sign of threat, the herd erupts into motion, leaping in high, bounding arcs that confuse and disorient their pursuers. The impala's split-second decisions, honed by generations, turn vulnerability into art. Meanwhile, the diminutive dik-dik relies on secrecy and subtlety. Barely knee-high, it slips through thorny thickets, its tawny coat blending with the sunburnt earth. Each step is measured, each pause a calculation. When alarmed, it emits a sharp whistle, a warning to its mate, a ripple of caution through the brush. Even the mighty elephant calf, watched over by the matriarch, learns the lessons of caution. At the first scent of lion, the herd closes ranks, adults forming a living wall of tusks and trunks. The calf is hidden in the center, shielded by memory and muscle, its safety secured by the wisdom of elders. In these worlds, survival is a mosaic of strategies, camouflage, speed, teamwork, and silence. Every prey animal is an innovator, every escape an act of courage. In the endless contest between hunter and hunted, it is the art of evasion that ensures the wild remains a place of mystery, resilience, and hope. As the sun melts behind the canopy and the savanna's golden grasses fade into shadow, a new world awakens, one ruled not by sight, but by sound, scent, and the hush of darkness. In the Amazon, nightfall is a curtain that transforms the familiar. The air thickens with humidity, and the forest hums with 1,000 hidden voices. Tree frogs call out in rhythmic pulses, their chorus weaving through the heavy air. High above, the kinkajou, ghostly and agile, slips silently from branch to branch, its prehensile tail a lifeline in the tangled dark. It feasts on ripe fruit, its tongue darting out as it listens for the faintest rustle, the warning that an ocelot, master of midnight stealth, is on the prowl. Below, the leaf litter stirs. An armadillo emerges, armored and cautious, its sensitive nose testing the breeze for danger. It snuffles for insects, unaware that a boa constrictor glides nearby, scales whispering over roots. The snake's heat-sensing pits read the world in thermal silhouettes, every heartbeat, every breath, a beacon in the dark. There is no mercy, only the unending hunt, and the armadillo's fate hangs by the slimmest thread. Farther upriver, electric eels shimmer beneath the surface, their bodies pulsing with invisible power. They patrol the black water, their electricity both weapon and shield. Above them, a fishing bat skims the river, its sonar mapping the slightest ripple. A frog, a fish, a fleeting chance at survival. On the African savanna, the night's arrival is met with a different symphony. The air cools, and the wind carries the scent of dust and life. Out of the shadows, the aardvark begins its lonely march, claws digging for termites beneath the soil, its ears swivel like radar dishes, catching the distant cough of a leopard. The aardvark freezes, blending with the earth, trusting in stillness until the danger passes. In the tall grass, eyes gleam, pairs of them, set low and wide. The hyena clan stirs, communicating in low whoops and cackles. The matriarch leads, her nose twitching as she reads the night. They move as one, weaving between acacia trees, scavenging and hunting. Nearby, a serval stalks the moonlit plain, its oversized ears tuned to the rustle of rodents. It leaps, impossibly high, landing with silent precision. But not all are hunters. The springhare bounds across open ground, its powerful hind legs launching it from shadow to shadow. Each landing is calculated, each pause a moment of trembling vulnerability. In the distance, a herd of wildebeest bunches together, calves pressed to the center, trusting in numbers to shield them from prowling lions. In these hours, the world belongs to those who master the dark. Every heartbeat is magnified, every breath a gamble. Here, danger is not a shadow, but the very air itself, thick with the scent of fear, the electricity of anticipation, and the promise that by dawn the balance will shift once more. Nightfall's secret kingdoms endure, their mysteries deepened by darkness, their stories written in the language of survival. As the night breathes its final hours, a silent force shapes every move, every heartbeat, the weather itself, and the world it sculpts. In the Amazon, rain is not a rare visitor, but a relentless architect. A sudden downpour erupts, drumming on the emerald canopy, sending rivers of water cascading down trunks and vines. Beneath the torrent, the howler monkeys huddle close, their fur slick and heavy. Their calls, deep and resonant, echo through the storm, marking territory even as the world blurs around them. Leafcutter ants seize the moment, forging riverside highways, their tiny bodies ferrying fragments of green to shelter before the rising flood. Amid the deluge, the jaguar prowls with practiced ease, its rosette coat blending with the dappled shadows and rain-splattered earth. Waterlogged terrain muffles its approach, making every step a calculated dance between mud and silence. Fish leap in swollen streams, seizing insects washed from the banks, each meal a gift of the rain. Even the sloth, slow as time itself, feels the urgency. It descends to the forest floor to defecate, trusting the cover of storm and darkness to mask its vulnerable ritual. On the African plains, the weather is a sculptor of destiny. The dry season's grip tightens, dust swirling in ghostly columns across the savanna. Wildebeest and zebra converge at shrinking waterholes, their bodies pressed together in tense truce. Crocodiles lurk at the muddy edges, their patience measured in weeks, waiting for the desperate and the unwary. Elephants, wise matriarchs leading thirsty herds, dig with ancient memory, unearthing hidden springs that sustain life when the sky refuses rain. As the horizon flickers with distant lightning, predators adapt to the shifting winds. Cheetahs, masters of speed, conserve energy beneath acacia shade, timing their hunts for the cool moments just after a rare cloudburst. Lions use the cover of dust storms to mask their approach, eyes narrowed against the grit, muscles coiled for the final charge. But the environment's touch is not always harsh. With the first scent of rain, termites erupt in winged swarms, their flight a signal for aardwolves and birds alike, a fleeting feast that sustains the patient. The air hums with anticipation, every creature tuned to the subtle cues, a drop in pressure, the scent of petrichor, the distant rumble of thunder. In both rainforest and savanna, survival is a dialogue with the elements. Here, weather is not a backdrop, but a living, breathing force, an invisible hand shaping every choice, every instinct, every fragile alliance. The animals that thrive are those who listen, who adapt, who learn the language of rain, wind, and shadow. In the wild, the architects of adaptation are not just the creatures themselves, but the world they call home. In the heart of the wild, there are moments when adaptation is put to the ultimate test, when titans of tooth and claw meet and the outcome hangs in a breathless balance. These are the dramatic confrontations that define legends, echoing through tangled jungle and open plain alike. Deep within the Amazon, a shadow ripples beneath the water's surface, a black caiman, ancient and armored, gliding silently. On the muddy bank, a giant river otter family frolics, their playful calls masking a vigilant order. Suddenly, the caiman lunges, jaws snapping. The otters explode into coordinated chaos, moving as one. Alpha females lead the charge, teeth bared, bodies twisting. The caiman thrashes, but the otter's relentless teamwork turns the tide, driving the predator back into the depths. For a heartbeat, the river runs red, but victory belongs to the united. Elsewhere, beneath the emerald canopy, a harpy eagle circles above a troop of capuchin monkeys. With a shriek that splits the dawn, the eagle dives. The monkeys scatter, but one mother stands her ground, shielding her infant. Talons flash, fur flies, and the forest holds its breath. In a blur of courage, the mother leaps, biting and clawing, forcing the raptor to retreat empty-clawed. The price is wounds, but the reward is survival, a testament to the fierce bonds that shape these lands. Across the savanna, the drama is no less intense. The dry season's hunger brings a pride of lions to a sun-baked watering hole. There, a lone bull buffalo, scarred by seasons of battle, stands defiant. The lions encircle, tails twitching with intent. The first charge is swift, claws rake, teeth snap. But the bull wheels, horns goring, tossing a lioness aside. Dust and blood fill the air. The pride regroups, wary of the old bull's fury, and the standoff stretches into the fading heat. This time, the lions retreat, patience outlasted by resilience. At dusk, a pack of painted wolves, Africa's most efficient hunters, targets a herd of impala. The chase is a ballet of speed and strategy. One impala, cornered on a dry riverbed, turns to face its fate. The pack closes in, but a sudden bellow from a nearby elephant cow sends shockwaves through predator and prey alike. The wolves scatter, the impala escapes, and the savanna's balance is preserved by the unpredictable intervention of its largest guardian. These confrontations are not battles of good versus evil, but of survival versus survival. Power, intelligence, and unity are tested in every clash. In the Amazon and on the savanna, the most dramatic encounters are not just displays of violence, they are raw, living stories of resilience, strategy, and the relentless will to endure. Each confrontation leaves its mark, shaping the destinies of both victor and vanquished, and reminding us that in the wild, every moment is a turning point. Beneath the surface drama of tooth, claw, and flight, a quieter force weaves through the wild, a web of life so intricate, its patterns are glimpsed only by those who look beyond the obvious. Here, in the shadowed depths of the Amazon, and across the golden sweep of the savanna, every heartbeat and breath is bound to another, each life a vital thread in the tapestry of survival. In the rainforest, the ceibo tree towers above all, its roots winding deep, anchoring the forest floor. Orchids bloom in its branches, their nectar drawing hummingbirds whose wings beat so fast they blur to invisibility. As the birds feed, pollen clings to their feathers, ferrying life from blossom to blossom, high above the ground. Below, leafcutter ants march in endless columns, harvesting foliage not for their own consumption, but for the fungus gardens they cultivate underground. The ants nurture the fungus feeds the colony, a silent partnership spanning generations. A jaguar's silent passage through the undergrowth is more than a solitary hunt. Its kills feed not only itself, but also scavengers, vultures, beetles, even the tiny fish that thrive on scraps washed into winding streams. The otters, in turn, keep fish populations healthy, which in turn shape the growth of aquatic plants and the clarity of the river itself. Every predator, every prey, every plant and pollinator, each is a keystone supporting the forest's living architecture. On the savanna, the story unfolds in golden light. Herds of wildebeest graze, their hooves churning the soil, aerating earth for new grass to sprout. Dung beetles arrive, rolling away the droppings, fertilizing the land and keeping parasites in check. Acacia trees, standing watchful over the plains, offer shelter to ants that defend them from hungry herbivores, their tiny jaws deterring even the tallest giraffe. The rains return, and with them an explosion of life. Frogs croak in ephemeral pools, birds flock to feast on insects, and the cycle spins on. Even the mighty are shaped by the humble. Termites, often overlooked, build towering mounds that capture rain and create micro-habitats for reptiles, birds, and small mammals. Elephants, the architects of the savanna, uproot trees and carve new paths, shaping the very landscape and creating opportunities for new growth. In both jungle and plain, the balance is delicate. Remove one player, and the whole system trembles. The jaguar's absence means unchecked prey, overgrazed plants, and rivers choked with silt. The loss of elephants leaves the savanna overgrown, its diversity diminished. Every life, no matter how small, is a guardian of the whole. This is the true legacy of the wild, not just the spectacle of battle, but the quiet, constant exchange that sustains all. The rainforest breathes, the savanna sings, and in their harmony lies the promise of tomorrow. In the web of life, survival is not a solitary victory, but a shared, unending dance.